The views, thoughts, and opinions on this podcast belong only to the hosts and the guests. They don't necessarily reflect any organization or sponsors connected to us. We aim to keep things accurate, but everything you hear is shared for information, conversation, and entertainment. We're going to dive into good laughs, tough talks, and that genuine feel that you came for. So get comfortable, relax into the vibe, and let the moment unfold. This is Keep It Clean. Lock in.
Because if that ain't get changed now, get you ourselves. And then two, if you change it now,
is this needed? Is it acceptable? Does it change up everything? What's your thoughts? Limit anything. There's a game that's taking place. Yes, that's taking place.
Tell me why I'm watching a game on ESPN. One of the banners in the background is YouTube TV for the game, but we can't even watch it. How does that make sense?
$20. I don't want no $20. I want the game.
And every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.
We back. New week, same sports team. You know, you got the homie Mel in the building. It's your boy Ray, Bucket Hat Ray. No Bucket Hat today. However, in our sponsorship tour this week, we're going with the Las Vegas Golden Knights. If you would like to sponsor the Keep It Clean podcast, please let me know. We are open and willing. We'll even skate on the ice for you. I know we have a Blackhawks fan, but he will convert just for you guys. Just for you guys. He'll wear the Blackhawks jersey under the Golden Knight apparel, because if you're going to pay us, why not take the free money, right? But Brother Mel, how you doing today, man? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, sir. You know, it's always better to be above ground than beneath it, so I can't complain.
These are fair comments. These are fair comments, man. Well, as usual, if you know what to do, tell somebody, tell a friend of a friend, because if they won't tell you, Ray will. Ray is telling you to follow us at YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. We appreciate everything of the likes, comment, the feedback, the sharing. Please subscribe. Tell your friend to tell a friend. But we're going to get straight to it today, man. Very simple. You know, March Madness tournament. We had some games that happened since the last time we have been here. We got some investigations happening in the NFL, even a little drama on who's getting with who, with Coach Vrabel and forgot her name, but it's all good. And then with the NBA, Cade's back, played a couple of games. The Sacramento Kings are blatantly tanking. And then we just see what it's looking like for the MVP race as the playoffs start next week.
I believe so.
Ooh, playoffs start.
Tomorrow should be the last game of the season.
Yeah, playoffs start next week. So we can make our final award predictions, it looks like. Yeah. See, I like that. But we're going to get into the simple stuff, man. Who or what is your highlight and or bozo of the week for sports?
We're going to talk about my bozo of the week, if you don't mind me bringing them up, because it annoyed me so much. My bozo of the week is the Sacramento Kings. Like, the blatant tanking it's eating me alive right now. I can't believe you're up and fouling the other team, and one of their best free throw shooters is Seth Curry. You know what did Peter Griffin say? It really grinds my gears. Gears. But on the far other end, the Michigan Wolverines. We have two. I've seen both. Thank you, Jesus. Keep me alive just to see this. I appreciate it. Now, if you get me through Avengers Doomsday and the upcoming X-Men movies, I'll be so thankful. But
fair enough.
Yeah. What about you?
Fair enough. Let's see. I kind of wanted to pick up from last week because Pat Bev is still on an interesting run. I don't know where I don't think I would have had it on my bingo card for Matt Barnes to be the selected back and forth guy, but that does seem to be the theme of especially sports podcasts. You have to have a rival. Keeping with the competitive nature, maybe. I don't know. Everybody wars with Gil's podcast at some point, whether it be Brandon Jennings, Rashad McCants, Brandon Jennings and Rashad McCants. It's typically them. Nick and Gil just say stuff, and I think people just accepted it. And King and Martin doesn't really bother anybody. But Pat, what did Matt Barnes say? You just sitting in there by yourself with your legs crossed.
And what was the whole? I'm not Derek Fisher. I expected Pat Bev to say that, not Matt Barnes.
Well, Matt Barnes has consistently shown he's about action. So he's not Derek Fisher. It did come off as a stray. Like Derek had nothing to do with this conversation. Maybe he assumed that Pat was grouping light skins together.
Maybe. But I mean, ever since that little Kobe fiasco with the ball fake to his face and Kobe stared through his soul, I don't think anyone cared about Matt Barnes.
True, but at the same time, we've seen Kobe in the scuffle, so you staring through didn't. I've seen you do the same stare when a dude was getting ready to punch you in the face, and there was no movement. It could just be a delayed reaction.
Wait. Are you talking about when Chris Childs laid one on Kobe? Is that what you're talking about? Yep. That's so wrong. That is so wrong. That was a young Kobe, though. That doesn't count.
It could be even worse. If you didn't have it when you was young, the sharp reflexes, you may not have it as you get older. We're gonna find out that's who it was. I'm late to it. It was gonna be Pat Bev until I did a little bit more research. Is Floyd ducking? Because if so, he might be the bozo. He's trying to get out of the Pacquiao fight and say it should just be an exhibition match.
Oh my
Nowhere
God.
did he agree to it being a professional match. And of course, the team Pacquiao was like, no, that's not what we said. This is within the contract. Do you believe Floyd Mayweather to be Affleck? A little.
So professionally, he's undefeated. Professionally. And I think he wants to keep that undefeated record. So he might be. Like maybe it sounded good, I'll make a few million. Let me box Pacquiao real quick. But Pacquiao's been boxing professionally, 2 years now?
Last couple years. Yeah, last couple years.
In good shape. He's in boxing shape. Floyd kind of does it like an exhibition, fighting people like one of them Paul brothers. He's not fighting anybody. So, and he does it once a year just to make some money,
give or take.
Yeah. Yeah, he might be.
He does have 3 fights lined up, including this one, which we did talk about. He's supposed to fight Tyson, which I just don't know why.
I don't either. I don't know why Mike would do it.
Because man, I think Mike just has that. That flame is never going to die until he does. Because he had no business being out there with he was out there with Roy Jones Jr. He was out there with the Paul brothers. I don't know. He's 60. He's 60, man.
I had that flame too until I turned 45. And someone took that flame and said, and blew it out.
Fair. Okay. Highlight of the week. Highlight of the week was for me, it was the NCAA tournaments, both sides. The women's game and the men's game really showed a lot. We had a blowout, and I did find it interesting on how between the last time we potted and now, Gino had a meltdown. He almost made the bozo of the list week, but it was just one of them. By the time we got here, he did apologize according to him. I have to see what Coach Don says. If Coach Don don't back up his statements, we might have to circle back to him next week. But according to him, they spoke, they moved past it. But we can't talk about it. This could be our transition into NCAA, man.
Yeah, because just watching the interaction, all I could think was Don, Coach Staley, because I'm nasty. I think she'd have lit him up. I think she'd have lit him up right there on the court. She'd have whipped his behind.
She looked ready.
Yes.
She turned back around like, "What you say to me?"
Yes. So
okay. So before we get further into what Gino did, this is the second coach in the span of 2 games. because UConn beat somebody else previous to Syracuse before, or I'm sorry, between Syracuse and playing South Carolina, UConn had already beat somebody else, right? Can't remember. Either way, Syracuse's coach is saying, "Don't put me in that bracket," and then Gino over here talking about she didn't dap me up at the beginning of the game. How?
Translation: don't put me in that bracket. That was his translation. I want no more Coach Staley.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, brother.
Did you believe him when it first happened, or were you?
I don't believe him now. I think that UConn was undefeated. It would have given him another undefeated season, and he might be. And I'm not saying he is, because I don't know, but he might be towards the end. Maybe he's getting tired of coaching. Another undefeated season. I mean, he's already cemented as the best. He's past Pat Summitt, RIP, but he's past her. So I think it kind of hurt him, especially the way they lost. South Carolina controlled them. They got on their backs and just held on. And there was nothing, it seemed like there was nothing UConn could do. So I think he was just upset.
It was hard for me to really lock into what he was saying, because I kid you not, the first thought I had when he was talking about she didn't shake his hand, I was like, you held on to that throughout the entire game. I don't know. Either you just pulled that one right out of the back pocket, or man, don't tell me you're that salty of an individual, because she didn't shake my hand at the top of the game. You done played 4 whole quarters. Y'all was getting beat down, and the entire time you taking the pause on the ground, she didn't shake my hand. Like, nah, bro, don't tell me that's what it is. It is very, very unfortunate to get the footage to come out like that, because Gino, he didn't have to do this, right? Him losing to South Carolina, I think, even from the conversation that we had, it's not crazy. You lost by more than what we would have expected for UConn, sure, but we all said South Carolina is no slouch. We know this. We all predicted the winner of that game to win the championship.
We did.
So, every now and then you get got. How many other streaks has he had? We've seen 54. Then they go on an 80 streak run. Then they did another 30. So this wasn't even his best streak. This wasn't even his best streak. So to lose and it not be your best streak, and then you go out the way that you did, it looked interesting. I might be in agreement with you.
He was 2 games away from a championship, and I think that's what burned his butt. An undefeated season with a championship, 2 games. And I think if it had been UCLA, if he had lost to them, he'd still be upset. We'd have got the same thing. Well, she didn't shake my hand at the beginning. And if she had shook his hand, well, she didn't shake my hand at the end. He'd have felt she didn't shake my hand at halftime, So he'd have had an excuse.
I will admit, I didn't like the aesthetic of him trying to step to a lady like that.
Yes.
And then I definitely didn't like the aesthetic of multiple women breaking it up for him. Like, it just didn't look right. The women stepping in, and one of them, I could be gassing it a little bit, but one of them looked like she got a pretty decent shove on him. He did kind of fall back. I was like, yeah, weight room. Get in that weight room, boy.
Gino's what, mid-60s now? He's like 60, 64, 65?
If he's not, he looked like it.
Yeah, and Dawn Staley she's around my age, so she's mid to late 40s. I think Don would have roped him. I think a couple of those ladies, they did, like you said, old girl, and I don't think she was trying to be aggressive with that shove. She was just trying to get him to move back. I think a couple of those ladies, man, Gino would have had some problems. They saved him.
I'm trying to figure out. Oh, Dawn Staley's from Philly. Yeah, she would have mopped. He was about to.
No. Well, what happened to you? I just left Popeyes. I got a 2-piece. No. Yeah, Don does not play, dude.
Okay. Video footage. I do give him a little bit of leeway. Your player coming back to the bench with a torn jersey, you wouldn't think she tore it herself. You would assume that she got clipped somewhere down there in the paint or something like that.
He tried to pull a Trump, man. He gave every excuse he could think of. Well, her jersey torn. Well, I didn't get a handshake. Pick your poison, my guy. Pick your poison.
And that's what made it worse too, because by the time he did apologize, he did at least double down. He said what he said to her after the game. They interviewed him, and then he doubled down there. And then I thought he had said something else before the apology had came up. So it just didn't look right. I feel like between the game being over and then you getting to the podium, somebody probably at least told you, hey, no, y'all did shake hands at the top of the game. Like at minimum, you might have gotten away with the jersey thing, but the double down on it just kind of looked tough. Mm-hmm. But I can't see him retiring. There's really no competition other than Don. I don't know if UCLA does it again. I could be wrong, but we could go ahead and get into that game, man. What did you see? How they look?
The game with UConn and UCLA.
South Carolina.
UConn and South Carolina.
Yeah,
I saw South Carolina set the pace. You know, in just about any sport, you want the other team to play the way you want to play, and that's what South Carolina did. They got UConn out of their game, and now they're playing South Carolina's game essentially. And South Carolina just rode them from beginning to the end. I never got that feeling like UConn was going to come back. All right, here comes UConn now. Because usually if UConn gets down, you're thinking that, like, when are they going to turn it on? That car was stalled, bro. They needed to go to the shop big time, get an oil change, because it wasn't doing what it do.
And then, ironically enough, the very next game, South Carolina looked like UConn against UCLA, man.
But remember, we talked about how big UCLA is. From the point guard to the center, they're a big team. And I think they just kind of bullied South Carolina. Sometimes size, especially before I even talk about size, to me, still the two best teams were, even though UCLA won, no disrespect to them, shout out to the UCLA Bruins, Big Ten, men's and women. But South Carolina, I think they just got worn down. When you have the two best teams, they kind of just wear each other down. And then you meet another really good team who's also physical, you're just going to get worn down even more. But who saw that coming? You know, despite their size. Yeah,
we were wrong. The whole podcast was wrong because we for sure. When I went back and watched it, we were speaking like it was going to be a smoke session for whoever won between UConn and South Carolina. We were extremely disrespectful to at least the way that the game played out, because for Texas to keep it closer, significantly closer than UCLA did. And Texas has a little size, but it wasn't enough to stop the same two tall ladies that they had down beneath. South Carolina could not buy a basket, and they were continuously trying to get something going from the three. Kept pulling threes, and it just wasn't working. And it didn't seem like there was any type of pivot in their game strategy until they came out in the second half. And they had a spurt at the beginning where they started to close the lead, and started to close the gap, and they brought it close. And then they went back to bombing threes. And nobody wanted to get into the paint, take a little midi. It was either force a layup or force a three. No mid-range, no nothing.
I think UCLA's size kept them out the paint. They just didn't want to go down there. And we talk about today's basketball. Usually we talk about how men's basketball, but women's are the same way. You know, they want to shoot a ton of threes. South Carolina isn't necessarily known for it, which might be why they shot so bad. Bad. They didn't shoot well. So either way. So maybe that's what happened. But like you said at the beginning, UCLA took them out of their game also.
Yeah. Shout out to the UCLA Bruins, man. They finally brought something to the West Coast, especially after all those schools went into the Big Ten, because the men's side wasn't looking good. Football wasn't looking good. Baseball hasn't been the greatest over there. So I'm glad that those newer teams were able to see something. They won a trophy during the daylight instead of that blitz winter that y'all are used to dealing with. But going over to the men's side, man, take the floor. I know you've been waiting to get this off your chest. You finally tasted sweet victory. I play the song, but I don't want to get struck by YouTube.
Finally? What do you mean? Finally, look.
Finally, man.
We got a championship in football 2 years ago. Like, right now, I'm on a Michigan high. I don't see the problem with that. I'm just enjoying Michigan right now. UConn, oddly enough, UConn played their style of basketball this game. They kept the score relatively low. I mean, Michigan had some games where they're in the 60s and 70s, but during the tournament, they had just been whopping people right upside the head.
Mm-hmm.
You get it. UConn slowed down the pace. It was more of a grind. I think Michigan hit total 2 3-pointers the entire game, if I'm correct. So, yeah, it showed the flexibility of UConn's game, or Michigan's game. Plus, their best player was not at 100%. So It also showed how they play as a team. And I think I brought that up. Like, even if he wasn't on the court, I can't think of his name right now. But even if he wasn't on the court, it does not matter because they still played as a team.
Yeah, Lindenberg. Yeah, well, because mind you, he did come in hurt. He got hurt Saturday. He got and rolled his ankle. And he what did he score? 2 points, something like that. With the fact that UConn, I think we had, for y'all listening, man, y'all go back and listen to that episode. I know the games have already passed. We were pretty accurate in what we were saying in our descriptions, right? UConn being able to slow down the team that was putting up 90 plus throughout this entire tournament and get them to essentially play their style. We even called out how Michigan is more of an NBA offense, and they made that work. And at the same time, UConn's defense just kept pestering. They weren't scared of the size. They weren't, I almost want to say they weren't scared of the moment. However, it was, from my perspective, Michigan's game to lose the way that it was playing out. They got up significantly more shots. It was 21. They went 21 out of 68 shots as opposed to Michigan's 21 out of 55. And those 13 shots, a decent amount of them 13 shots were open looks. They were getting into that mid-range area. They just could not buy a basket consistently for majority of the game. Neither team shot great from three. Michigan went 2 for 15, and I think at some point you could tell until that freshman hit that step back, it seemed like the coach said, "Hey, stop
shooting threes. Yep,
stop.
Cut it out.
This isn't working." Meanwhile, UConn put up 33 threes. Man, they went 9 for 33. Had it. Free throw percentage edge UConn 25 of 28 is amazing, but both teams, just like y'all were expressing, Michigan's defense is very underrated. Their offense kind of overshadows them. So they forced 10 turnovers, and UConn, being the typical UConn that they are, UConn forced 11 turnovers. Michigan forced 10. Rebounds, even though size favored Michigan, UConn got more rebounds. It was their game to lose. And it was interesting to see because the pressure was never really on UConn. The pressure was on Michigan the entire time. The expectation was for them to win. They were leading for 75% of the game. It just never felt consistent. And when UConn got the lead, I knew Michigan was going to get it back. But there was that moment. What was it with like a minute and some change?
Oh my God!
UConn hit the three. Oh no, UConn hit a three. Y'all hit a three. UConn came back and scored again. Then they got the turnover, and my mans took the most layup attempt that I've ever game on the line. You know, what does Mr. Go 30 say? Eyes got too big, shaking out there like your mama on the corner, and you piss down your leg.
He was trying to play hero ball.
He was, man. He was, and that killed everything. Great game.
You know, we talked about that guy Reed with UConn and how he was just going to dominate the middle, Terrace Reed. And that's basically what he did, dude. He had 14 rebounds. 14 rebounds. What are we doing? He's not real tall either. He's just very athletic. He's very like jumpy. You know, he's quick to the ball. He's got a nose for the ball. And Michigan, who led the entire tournament in assists by a lot, they were, is it out assisted? Is that the term? Out assisted? Yeah. So Michigan only had 7 assists in that game.
Wow.
Ordinarily, they have 7 assists in the first 5 minutes. They only had 7 assists the entire game. So, again, that UConn defense, I do commend them, even though Michigan won. Shout out to 8.
See, this is the first time. This is the first time y'all won since the hatred of Chris Webber got started, right?
No, we didn't win one with the Fab Five. Our last one was 34 years ago with Glenn Rice, Lloyd Vault, Ramel Robinson. That was our last one.
Yeah. So you were there for the first win. Mm-hmm. You were there for the dismantling of the talk about a big choke. You were there to join the hate Chris Webber train.
But I didn't hate Chris Webber. I didn't hate him. I was sad. It hurt my feelings, but I didn't hate him.
You didn't start hating him when he, kind of sold out the squad?
I just figured there was some inner turmoil between them. Ray Jackson and oh my God, I forgot the other brother's name. Jimmy King. They might have some hate, some animosity, because even though they were all the Fab Five freshmen, Chris Webber was the standout. Okay. Even with Jalen Rose and Juwan Howard, Webber was the standout.
Yes. Okay. Basketball career-wise, since they're both Michigan, if it was you, what would you rather have to live the rest of your days calling the infamous timeout that didn't exist, or in the future of your career as a former Wolverine have the 81 points dropped on your nugget?
Oh my God. Give me the 81.
Give me the 81.
It's Kobe. Like people look at you and be like, yeah, 81 dropped on you. It's Kobe. You got knocked out. It's Tyson. You got trucked. It's Bo Jackson. Like when you throw out a name, people, we understand. But calling him timeout when you had no time, like, and we could blame Coach Fisher. I can't think of his first name, but we could blame him and say, well, he should have coached them up better, so that way they knew when to call the timeout. Maybe, but again, he's a freshman. Dude's 18 years old. That's a lot of pressure. You're in the finals against Duke as a freshman. I'm not even mad at that. I can't be mad.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Okay. I think he called that timeout the sophomore year. I think it was the sophomore year when he did that.
I'm sure Coach wait
a minute.
Maybe the coach didn't say something.
Oh man.
But court awareness, man. What they tell you? Be an athlete. Be an athlete. Do you think Michigan repeats next year?
I don't. Do I want them to? Absolutely. Do I think they do? I don't. I think the NIL can kind of make things a little wonky. One team that ordinarily isn't very good, they throw some money out there. They have all these good players come in. It could change some things. So I think it's harder to repeat now.
Is Lindenborg coming back, or does he go to the league?
No, he's gone. First, he won a championship, number one. Number two, he got hurt. And, that scares athletes. And he'll get a big check in the pros. It's not like college football where you might make more in college than you make in the pros. Your rookie season, NBA, he can make bank depending on where he's drafted.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, we're going to make an easy transition. Somewhat easy. We're going to go over the football. And I want to start with, do you think Vrabel tried to coach Stephon Diggs on his situation?
Diana Rossini, that's her name.
That's her name. Okay.
Yeah.
I was never going to get that. I appreciate you.
I kept thinking Diana Taurasi, but I was like, she's not into that. So Diana Rossini. Dude, possibly. I mean, he's a coach, and it goes beyond the field. So he could have been like, "Look, bro, sit down for a minute. Let me talk to you."
The Patriots organization. The Patriots organization is on a streak. Yes. They are on a streak. They're both saying those photos were taken out of context. It's only funny. It is only being talked about because other than the investigation, that's been the only NFL news this week as we gear up for the draft. But the way that they have him positioned in some of the photos, looking longingly at her from a distance, I said, man, got you in a crisp 4K. This is not good, man.
And mind you, everything we say about them, it's allegedly because we don't know.
That's alleged. Because I will never want to put that on someone's jacket because, look, they could have been salsa dancing as friends.
And I don't want them putting that lawsuit on me. So, yes, They were salsa dancing.
Ooh. Ooh, okay. NFL is being investigated.
Mm-hmm.
They are, to be specific, the Justice Department, it has opened an investigation on the NFL for what appears to be anti-competitive practices with their TV deals. So as we know, NFL has games that appear on Prime, which is Thursdays. They have ESPN, ABC. They also have Peacock on certain days. I'm not really sure. I think Peacock has a lot of the Friday games, if I remember correctly. Any of the games that popped up on a Friday showed up on Peacock. So there was one at the beginning of the season, and then there was one more towards the end. And then for whatever reason, for 2 years straight, which has been the worst games, Netflix gets Christmas days. Right? That Christmas day on Netflix this past season it might have been the worst football day of the NFL because all of the teams weren't in the playoffs. Would you call it
cheeks?
It was cheeks.
Booty?
It was buns. It was.
I would agree.
It was dumpster juice. It was high quality garbage. That's what that was. The whole thing.
I didn't know you knew French.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Garbage.
Garbage, man. Do you think this goes anywhere? The investigation, do you think it changes anything? And if so, does this mean anything for any of the other sports? What does this possibly look like?
I don't know, man. The Department of Justice is involved. That means Trump is involved, and he loves money. And I'm not even trying to belittle the president, but dude is out for money.
Yeah,
he's running the Department of Justice. Everyone knows that. I wouldn't doubt if he's trying to get some money out the NFL. And he had this whole thing against the NFL when the players were kneeling peacefully.
Mm-hmm.
They were kneeling in protest of police brutality. So I think he's just trying to get money out the NFL, even though they do kind of screw us over. There's no reason why you're in Chicago and can't see a Bears game, but someone in LA can. That makes no sense.
Right. And I didn't really understand that because I guess if you're paying for whatever place, because it seems so split on where they're showing the games.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, again, the Netflix and Peacock thing is more spread out. Those are, they don't get any more than, I think, 3 days a season. So we'll move that to the side and then focus more on the ESPN fallout that they had in the middle of the season, even though ESPN was more so going back and forth with YouTube TV, but that created a thing. So you're on CBS still, you're on Fox. Those could be watched on your standard cable. And everything that I knew about cable, they played the games that are local. So this will be the first time to me, I think it actually caught me off guard that you're not able to watch the games that are within your area. Like, I know I complain all the time if without any extra NFL package, I can't watch the Falcons game being in Texas. They're going to play the Cowboys. And if it's not the Cowboys, I'm trying to think. I think the secondary team is the Saints. The third is usually somewhere in the NFC North. They would throw everything on before they throw on the Falcons, unless the Falcons are playing someone that is somewhere attached to that. But being in the area, that's new to me. Was that the experience that you had when you was still running the streets of Gary?
When I was running the streets of Gary, you could only watch the game on CBS and NBC. You know,
they did
Fox
used to be
also.
on NBC.
Fox. Yep.
I forgot about NBC. They did used to be on NBC. Okay.
Yep. And then NBC, I don't know if they lost the contract, but they've always been playing basketball, but I don't know what happened. Anyway, I don't know, dude. It's just I do know it's kind of weird when you're in Texas, because when I was in El Paso, I couldn't see any Texas games. I didn't get the Texans. I didn't get the Cowboys. Not that I like any of the Texas teams, but I just didn't get them. And I'm trying to figure out what is going on. You're in Texas. How can you not get the game? And maybe it was, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Maybe all these stations work together and they're trying to push us towards the NFL network. Pay for the network if you want to see your team play. Pay for it.
Right.
So I don't know what's going on, man. I'm so lost in the sauce right now.
Which it makes it almost like a pyramid scheme tax bracket.
Yes.
Because you're paying a grip of money just to go watch it. So just to be clear, like when you read through it, it is ESPN/ABC, NBC Sports, CBS Sports, Prime Video, and Netflix. Those are the ones that got the game. So you have to pay. I think the main ones would be wherever you can watch ESPN and NBC and CBS, wherever you could get those on your regular cable package, that's fine. So you got to pay a cable package. In order to watch the Prime Video, you got to subscribe to Amazon, which the prices have been going up. If you want to watch a Christmas game, which is forced, by the way, I do want to take a quick second. Netflix forcing Christmas games and the NFL just trying to remain in the airways has really kind of bothered me, because we all know NFL is Thanksgiving, Christmas is the NBA.
Yes.
So you playing a Christmas game, because what wasn't Christmas on Wednesday this past year? What are we doing here? You know, it was it was Wednesday the previous year. It was Thursday this past Christmas. And still, both Netflix games on those Christmas days, like, what are we doing here? Y'all are in the way.
As much as I don't like watching football on Netflix, I think that streaming sucks when it comes to sports, especially the more people that watch it. The NFL, I don't know if they care because they're getting paid. I don't think they care. And we know the NFL is king in America because, like you said, Christmas used to be NBA. NFL slid over to Christmas, kicked the NBA's behind. Now the NBA adjusts their times based off the NFL. So even with the NFL on ESPN, it still kicks the NBA's butt. I don't know, man. It is kind of like a pyramid scheme. And I think at the top of the pyramid is the NFL, because no matter what, they're going to win. They're going to win.
And which is why I asked the question, if something was to come of this, when you get to somewhere like the NBA, is it the MLB second, or would the NBA be second? I feel
NBA.
like NBA. Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah, that's a good question, because depending on viewership, more so, if they're doing this with the NFL, and we know things such as potential false injuries may occur. We know things such as price gouging may occur. We also know things such as tanking may occur in the NFL. It could easily be argued, especially for things like the tanking piece of it, is more heavily seen on the NBA side, especially since there's less players and you visually see them. If NFL is the king and there is any type of fallout, would it not be worse? No matter how big the fallout is for the NFL specifically, it could be minor, it could be a scratch, if anything. Hey, we are going to limit you guys to 4 instead of 5 streaming services, whatever. Would you expect blowback from the other sports? It would be next in line would be NBA and the MLB. I don't know if the MLB having any situation as compared to the NBA, or maybe I just don't see it because I don't frequent baseball as much. But do you see anything that, even if the NFL beats whatever they do, where it doesn't shake the leaves on in the other leagues?
Well, oftentimes when something happens in a sport, it affects the other sports. I haven't heard the same complaints about the other two sports that I've heard about the NFL. And I will tell you, even though there's a lot more games, 82 games in basketball, 162 in baseball. So there's a lot more games. But it seems like the Bulls and the Cubs, I don't care about the White Sox, but them too, it was always on a local station in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But the Bears weren't. It was kind of hit or miss. So I don't think the other sports have that problem because, like I said, the Bulls, the Bears, you always see them. Or excuse me, the Bulls and the Cubs, White Sox, you always saw them. I think it's just this specific case might only affect the NFL. Might.
Okay. Interestingly enough, can't really explain it. I'm not fully aware of how it worked, but you could watch every Chicago Bulls game down here as a kid. It had its own network down here on not WGN. Was it WGN? Yeah,
that's the one in Chicago.
Yeah, so every single game was down there on the actual TV networks down in San Antonio, man. Okay. Does the NFL lose any money?
I don't think so. Because even if the DOJ says, hey, we are going to limit you from, you can't have it on 5 stations, 5 networks. You can only have it on 3 or 4. Okay, well, we'll take all those games from the 2 networks we can, and we'll sell them to one of those other networks. So they'll still make their money. I don't think it's going to bother the NFL that much.
Okay.
And it's the richest sport in America also. They make the most money.
Yeah. If they could condense it to 3 places, I'd be so happy. What was that Stan from South Park? I'd be so happy.
Clyde, when Cartman was cussing, if I could say that, I'd be so happy.
So happy. Okay. What else happened in the NFL? Is that it this week?
Pretty much. But besides the Patriots and Diana Rossini, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, man. Well, let's go ahead and do what they do these days and travel on over to the NBA, man. Where you want to start? Are we giving Pat Bev any credit? Are we harassing him in the NBA talks? Is he a better player than Matt Barnes? He got the stats.
Matt Barnes is a 6'7" Pat Bev, and Pat Bev is a 6'1" Matt Barnes. So they were defensive specialists who Kobe lit up, who Ant-Man lit up before he joined Ant-Man's team. Russ, he had to injure Russ to stop Russ. Like,
that's true.
No. I don't know which one's better than the other. They're too much alike to me. I think Matt Barnes had a better 3. I think
Pat Bev has better stats. Matt Barnes did get a ring.
Okay.
Now, was Pat Bev's stats spectacular?
No.
I don't know. If the highlight of your career is winning a playing game and then you swinging your shirt around,
he was on the table.
The
I was like, did they win the championship? Did I miss something? He was
gushing
on the table.
tears, man. I'm of the opinion that a lot of what Pat Bev has been doing recently, he's been on a 2-year run, right? He's out the league for throwing the ball at somebody in the stands. You then follow up when they try to question you about it in the post-game interview. You told somebody, if you don't watch my podcast, I'm not answering your questions. 2 back-to-back swings and misses right there, right? A little too much dip on your chip, big guy. Don't know who you are in this relative situation. the Bucks are you're playing with the Bucks in a way that Dame Lillard is going to be hurt. You know why you're there. Okay. Then you go to Israel. You get into a little couple squabbles in Israel on their basketball team. They kick you off. So you didn't get banned from the NBA, but they kind of told you, all right, man, that's about it. We done with your shenanigans. We got a light-skinned version of you and Dylan Brooks. We don't need you. And then the dark-skinned version of you that's better is Draymond Green. Like, we don't need you, right?
Yes.
Lou Dort's in training. He's at least winning. So there's no need for a Pat Bev no more. And the sad, too, because Pat Bev was not creating the issues that we remember him doing back when he was warring with Russ. He was just being essentially a role player. So now with all that being cut, is he just, you're not too far from the city. You know how those folks move out there. Is he just essentially Gil, but with Chicago? Like you're just saying a lot. I haven't really seen him be factual yet, other than talking to Trae Young, and then Trae Young cooked him too. He's been getting cooked in a lot, rotated, flame broiled, grilled, pan seared. All of his takes have bit him in the ass. Matt Barnes just happens to be the one where it is a debatable. Can you speak for your Chicago brethren?
I cannot. I will not. I am not a fan of Pat Bev. And I love hard-nosed defensive players like Mike Conley, even though he's getting burnt now. I used to love Mike Conley in Memphis. So I like those Tony Allen. I like those hard-nosed defensive players, but he's not good at his job, number one. When he was in the league, he wasn't good at his job because he was known for defense, but he got ate up by just about everybody. Everybody got a piece of him.
Why are you putting in quotations?
Because he didn't play good defense. So just because he was known for it didn't mean he did it. He did not do it. And now as a podcaster, like you said, he's rarely factual. And it almost seems like he's a new world, one of these newer influencers where I'm going to throw out a hot take because people are going to dislike it and it'll get circulation. It'll get people talking about me. So let me throw out this hot take, a bad take, but this hot take, and see where it goes. So as a player and as a podcaster, I'm not a fan of Pat Bev.
Can I ask you this?
Yes, sir.
Is he in the top 5 of terrible takers? Is that could you say it that way? Terrible takers?
Strictly sports. With Stephen A. still being basketball.
The worst? Stephen A. built a legacy that's undeniable and probably
by doing this, by yelling. You disagree with me? I'm gonna yell at you. My name's Stephen A. You're wrong, Max. You're wrong.
So okay, let me be more specific. Podcasters, because this could be former athletes, but they're in the podcast space. If you're on the network television series, I may not hold you to the same standards as a podcaster.
I'm going to say yes.
Who else is in the 5?
Definitely Gilbert Arenas. At least Gilbert's funny. He makes me laugh, man. Gilbert Arenas. And we're just talking about sports because otherwise I throw Cameron in there too. Cameron, hilarious. He's got some of the worst takes, but he's hilarious. That dude is so funny.
We're going to stick sports just to be fair, because if we open the door outside of sports, there's a lot of people.
God. I can't think of anyone else right now because everyone else, I think most other podcasters, they're borderline reporters. So they try to be as factual as possible. They try to be as professional as possible. Even your former athletes, because a lot of them, they want to transition to TV. I can't think of anyone worse than those two, or in their stratosphere at all.
I for sure have Paul Pierce in that stratosphere.
Really?
Yeah, man. Because Paul's hatred gets the best of him oftentimes. Because he will say something quality, or he will have spurts of quality conversation, and usually in that quality conversation, let's be clear, KG is guiding that towards any form of righteousness. And then he will say something outlandish along the lines of like, yeah, when they ask him who has a better offensive scoring game than you, and they like, why are you lying to us like this? Be consistent. The consistent duel and rivalry that you're holding on to Dwayne and LeBron has played out. You know, it's been played out since Draymond told you thought you were Kobe. I got Paul
like
in
that.
there. They don't care about you like that. Rashad McCants is definitely in there.
McCants is, but I think he's a step below. He would be that. He's not in the next level. He's just a step below them because he's pretty rough.
Does Jason Whitlock count?
Fuck that dude, man. I'm sorry.
Did you see what he did today?
Fuck Whitlock. No, I didn't.
So he went and dressed in whiteface and then imitated Matt Barnes by smoking. I can't make this up. He threw some talcum powder on his face, then put on a wig just to imitate. I'm so serious, bro. Jason Whitlock is free to get hit.
Jason Whitlock putting on whiteface is probably the happiest day of his life.
Dream come true.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Uncle Ruckus over there, 1,000%.
Yeah,
nothing make me happier than today to be white, just like you, boss. That's Whitlock. No matter where he is, man. Oh my God.
He's holding on to Stephen A's coattails too. It's bad because as Stephen A has began to ruffle feathers, he will always be the triumphant one in this situation where you can't not support him because it's Jason Whitlock. Yes. And you will never support a coon. Like you're being an asshole, Stephen. But this coon right here, man, is egregious. I have Emmanuel Acho to round out my five.
Yes, he would be slightly above Whitlock. Yes.
Okay.
Not worse than Whitlock. He would be number 4. Whitlock is number 5. Well, I guess, as far as bad takes, McCants, like they each get a category. McCants gets bad takes. Whitlock gets self-hatred. Like I want to make that a category, self-hatred. And Ocho is Junior Whitlock, baby Whitlock. And then we have Pat Bev is number 2 in bad takes under McCants.
Number 2. Wow.
I think so. He might be number 2 under McCants because Pat Bev checks other categories that McCants doesn't. Plus, besides Rashad McCants, who cares about Rashad McCants?
Fair. And to your point, I have to give the edge to Pat Bev because not only does he check more categories, he did check Rashad himself in real time when they had their little. You don't remember that when I guess a story had came out about their workouts. They were both trying out for a team. I want to say it was LA, and Rashad was trying to make it seem like he was called and he didn't have to do the full workout because they were looking into him. Pat Bev's side of the story was you couldn't finish the workout. So what happened, right? Because Rashad was going at it with the Gilbert Arenas podcast. It's had nothing to do with Pat. And I think he was going back and forth with Brandon Jennings or something. And then Pat chimed in somewhere, whether it be in the comments or on his pod at the time, like, nah, bro, I was there. You're lying. And so they brought Pat to the actual podcast. And he's like, you didn't finish the workout. Rashad was still trying to, nah, man. He's like, you weren't even supposed to be there. And it's like, yeah, I wasn't supposed to be there. And I finished the workout. You didn't finish the workout. And that's why it's funny, because that situation is what kind of threw Pat into the eyes of everybody a little bit more. He was always talking to Roan on his podcast, but that was the one that took him there, because he went over to Gills, he sat on the couch, said it to his face. He never pivoted. Face never changed. I could tell Pat was serious. So I started looking at Rashad as more of a clown. And then that moment ended up leading them down their current path. Rashad's going at all his former UNC players. They're having this back and forth regularly. And then Pat he kind of had that whole Rashad McCants thing was during the time frame of him falling out of the league. So he was just media. He was just a point of conversation continuously. I forgot about Skip Bayless, though. I forgot about Skip.
He's not worse than Whitlock when it comes to life. He's not worse than Whitlock. He has some bad takes. Oh, man. You know what? I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
He's who Jason Whitlock aspires to be.
I thought he wanted to be Stephen A.
No, because when you put on the baby powder, you want to look like Skip.
Fair enough. I stand corrected. Absolutely. 1,000%. Absolutely.
Okay. Before we really break down the NBA, man, I'm gonna just ask you. I'm gonna ask you a series of questions, right?
Okay.
It's just you and I today. We're gonna break down how the mailman feels. I want to make sure you guys enunciate correctly. It's Mel, not male. He's not to be confused with the other guy that has issues and is currently hiding out in Utah. Jamel's a free man. He moves around, and he is an upright, outstanding citizen and individual. How about that? Right? Would you rather build a superstar or build around a superstar who can't stay healthy for playoffs, or a star who always chokes in the big moments?
Give me a superstar who can't stay healthy.
Superstar who can't stay healthy. Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you rather your team lose 4 straight finals appearances or miss the playoffs for 10 years straight?
Let me lose 4 straight final appearances.
Explain that.
I made it.
Perpetual loser?
Hey, man, you got to let them know. How you going to talk trash to me? You can't get in the club, all right? I've been to the finals. You ain't even been to the playoffs. 10
But if
years.
you're getting Jazzy Fresh out the club.
The Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls. They lost 4 straight Super Bowls, but people still know who the Buffalo Bills are. Those teams that didn't make the playoffs, nobody know who they are. Unless they win a championship later, you don't know who they are.
So
I don't want to be that player who they're like, this guy, he can't win the big game. And excuse me, I don't want to be that team that can't make the playoffs. They can't win those games to get to the playoffs. Whereas my team has made the finals. Even if we lose, we've made the finals. So, yeah, 4 straight.
Not mad at you. Okay. Would you rather?
And that's most of your career, 10 years, bro.
10
no
years,
playoffs
yeah.
10 years.
I'm trying to think of who's been on losing playoff teams for 10 years. That was a franchise star.
You know what? That's a good question. Let's see what the computer says.
I'm trying to think of like an immediate answer. Let's see. Greatest NBA players.
It showed me WNBA. No, thank you. All right, here we go.
Bradley Beal. That's my first example that popped up. Bradley Beal. Great player. Was stuck with the Wizards for a long period of time. They went essentially nowhere.
So I see, and I don't know who this guy is. Tom Van Arsdale. 12 years, no playoffs.
Tough. Also got Boogie Cousins in there. So great. Went nowhere in Sacramento. By the time he finally saw the playoffs, he popped the Achilles.
Eddie Curry.
Yeah.
Former Bull. Laurie Markkinen, former Bull. Colin Sexton, current Bull.
That's unfortunate.
Keldon Johnson won't have to worry about it this year because he's going to the playoffs this year.
So is it just the Bulls?
Could be. Well, I told you the owner doesn't care if they win or lose. He wants to make money. He just wants to make money.
Okay. Would you rather have a franchise player who refuses to pass or one who refuses to shoot in crunch time? So this player either refuses to pass during the crunch time moments, or refuses to shoot during the crunch time moments.
Give me refuses to shoot. I'll take refuses to shoot.
That's very anti-Jordan of you.
Well, Jordan was actually a really good passer, but I'm thinking more in the lines of Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson didn't refuse to shoot, but he was a pass first. He was a true point guard. So I could start a franchise with Magic. Not only that, he was a leader. Dude was a leader.
You're sounding really funny under the light, brother Mel. You're sounding really funny under the light.
What are you talking about?
I'm just noticing something. Would you rather give a max contract to a player who's washed early, or let them walk and watch them become a Hall of Famer elsewhere?
Let them walk. I'm a businessman.
I respect that.
Yeah.
That one doesn't need too much elaboration. I think that was kind of a softball over the plate. All right, last one. Would you rather your team be known for dirty players or soft players?
Dirty players, dude. As a little kid, I didn't respect the Pistons. I didn't respect the Knicks. I didn't respect the Heat. As a grown man, dirty players. Yes, give me a Bill Laimbeer, clothesline him. Give me a Charles Oakley. Push him into the stands. Give me Alonzo Mourning, where the coach is hanging off his leg as he's trying to fight an entire team. Give me dirty players. Not saying that all those players are dirty, but those teams were considered dirty because of how they played defense. Absolutely. And they won. The Pistons, they're the only ones that won championships, but the Knicks were always in the playoffs. The Heat always in the playoffs. But, man, please, yes, dirty. Okay. I don't want no soft players.
Hey, give me your starting five of dirty players today.
Ooh, man, today?
Today.
Man, the league is so soft today. I don't even know.
I would have to think that over. The dirtier players easier because of how soft it is.
Well, I'm going to have a two guard. I will have Lou Dort. So, at the two guard, Lou Dort. At small forward, I'm putting him at small forward because that's where he should be anyway. I'm going to have Dylan Brooks.
Okay. This is a great first two pickups. 2 ACLs have already been sacrificed.
Oh my God. I got to think of the other three.
Okay. I'm very much surprised that you don't have Nutcracker Draymond just right there already. He's already on the court, whether you ask him or not. He already on the court. Man.
You're right. Power forward. Let me throw him in there.
Is Rudy Gobert a dirty player or just a dirty person?
I think he's a dirty person.
Okay.
He gave the whole NBA COVID. All right. So
the point guard and center position might be the most difficult here.
I am actually Googling point guards right now so I can pick one.
Then let me try to see. Let me try to see center just running through my head. You know, Joel Embiid did have a low light tape of him pulling some shenanigans. A lot of trips in there.
Player, man.
You don't think he was diving at people's knees?
I don't think Embiid's a dirty player. I don't think he is.
When he does play, he plays hard. Dirty.
He plays hard. And it's rare a really skilled player is a dirty player. Usually, you know, your role players tend to be a little bit dirtier because they can afford the fouls. So it's rare your star players are. And I'm just looking at the league and I'm like, man, I don't see any.
Yeah, they got Joel as third. Draymond first because he does technically play the center, and then Yusuf Nurkic.
Really, Nurkic?
Nurkic has only been out dirtied by Draymond when Draymond hit him with the Zangief spinning combo from Street Fighter in the back of the knock. I think that's the only time. Because if we put Draymond at center, because he's considered the league's most controversial player. Remember, he has the suspensions. He stepped on Domantas Sabonis. He grabbed Rudy Gobert's neck. He struck Nurkic. He has popped Steven Adams a couple times in the nuts. Nurkic is often do it.
I was gonna say Green is definitely on the team. I just you're gonna say with Nurkic anyway, but I don't remember Nurkic doing anything noteworthy.
That's why I have him Embiid over him, at least at the center position.
Oh man.
They tried to say Bobby Portis, but I think Bobby's just aggressive. I don't think that equates to dirty.
I think Mirotic would disagree. All right. I think Mirotic, once his eye socket healed up, he was that dude.
This is how dirty. This is how bad this combo is. We'll have to start putting parameters on. It's like, all right, how many victims do you need to be officially called dirty? How many bodies do you have to catch?
You don't mean it sexually either. Like,
yeah. How many injuries did you have to cause before you get called dirty? Dylan Brooks caused one. We could have easily had Pat Bev in this conversation if he was still playing, because he did take the meniscus of Westbrook and has been known to, we didn't forget about that. That's really why he's hated.
No, he's been really point guard.
Do we don't have a point guard of today?
I'm looking out. I don't see anyone of note. Like no one. But this is a friendlier NBA than what it was back in the day. Like if you tell me put together a starting lineup from back in the day, that's easy. I'll get you 3 teams. I'll put them together, boy. I'll take them from everywhere.
What's tough about it is our prime 2 candidates just both recently retired. Because if it wasn't Pat Bev, it was Chris Paul. Yeah, we do got to talk about it. I love Chris Paul as a player personally, but Chris was on some shenanigans.
Love him or hate him, and I'm not a fan of John Stockton, but Chris Paul had a lot of John Stockton in him because Stockton was super dirty and he was sneaky about it.
And apparently, they both have great right hooks.
Is that what they said in the streets?
They said John was about action at all times. And we saw Chris in real time. Chris did not back away from the fade from Rajon. Hit him with that uppercut, and then power walked his way into a State Farm commercial. Man, he showed us he was about it. They have Luka listed as a dirty player.
The league, it's still on. This season's still ongoing. I would like to add Chris Paul to my team. I'd like to add him, please.
Because he did retire during the season. He did retire during the season. I can spot you that.
Paul, Dort, Brooks, Green. Fine, I just put Nurkic on there.
Over Embiid? That's crazy.
I don't see much of Nurkic. I see Embiid, but I really don't see him playing dirty, man. He's a big dude. Like people misunderstand how big Joel really is. Dude, 7'7" He's like 260, 270. He's a huge dude.
Mm-hmm.
If he fouls you, it hurts more. Bigger person. So
he was diving at people's knees, Jamel.
I can neither deny nor confirm that statement, sir.
Okay, man. Let's wrap this up with some basketball talk, man. Playoffs start next week. So by the time people are hearing this episode, we should be locking in. We should be somewhere around the play-in games by the time this episode gets aired. And if we are to run it right now, did you want to do a playoff rundown, or do you want to wait till next week whenever the play-in games are decided, and then we could talk about the real teams?
I think we should wait till next week.
Cool. All right, then let's make it simple. Cade is back. Is Detroit for real now? They were for real before. He looked pretty healthy last night.
What's that? The young man's name, the backup point guard, Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's really, really good, even without Cade. And again, Jenkins he's kind of on and off from time to time, but when he's on, he's really, really on. And his off is it's an average night. I think Detroit is real. And the more I look at them, I think it's going to come down to Detroit and Boston.
Make the difficult decision. Come on, man. Come on. Detroit and Boston. Who you got?
Boston's more talented and more experienced. Detroit plays better defense, and I honestly believe Cade is better than, and y'all can fight me if you want to, I think he's better than Jaylen Brown, and I think he's better than Jason Tatum.
Ooh.
I think that much of Cade Cunningham. I think he's and at the center position, Vucevic is more talented offensively than Jalen Duren. But Jalen Duren is more talented defensively than Vucevic and Queta with Boston, and he's a better rebounder than both of them.
Yes.
And Tobias Harris, like we talk about experience, he has experience. That's why you bring those veterans in, even though he shouldn't make as much money as he does. He's got the experience. Man, you know what?
Isaiah Stewart is coming back too.
I know. Oh, man. Let me answer next week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are you sticking with your teams from the Western Conference?
Yeah, OKC San Antonio. I don't think that's going to ever change.
Who wins the series?
This year, I think San Antonio takes them.
I'm not in disagreement with you on either. Well, I still have Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I have Detroit more now in the same way that Boston got to figure out who they were with no Jason Tatum. And then Jason Tatum coming back is just cherry on top of the icing at this point. Detroit got to see who they were temporarily without Cade Cunningham. And then Cade Cunningham coming back after a couple players figured out who they were. It's just continuing to run. I still would edge Detroit, and I have Detroit seeing San Antonio in the finals. But we do have to talk about the awards, and then we could get out of here, man. I'll start with Defensive Player of the Year. Do we have any questions?
Wemby.
Okay, cool. Very simple. The MVP runner-up, a.k.a. Offensive Player of the Year.
I'm going to go with Joker. The runner-up, Joker.
Most improved. I'm going to come back to that's interesting. Most improved, then.
You know, I think it might be Jaylen Brown. His stats increased. His team stayed their number 2 in the East. I think it might be Jaylen Brown. He stepped his game up bigly.
All right. And then, last but not least, MVP.
Wemby. I think he gets it.
So, okay. So if you have Wemby getting MVP, you would still have Jokic over Luka for Offensive Player of the Year?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You said it so confidently. Break it down for me.
I mean, dude's a walking triple-double. Luka could be, but he doesn't have the pieces around him. Joker does, and he makes good use of everyone on his team. I would much rather have Joker on if I started the Bulls, if I was to start with anyone between Joker and Doncic, give me Joker.
And then you have Wemby winning over Shai.
Shai
just okay. That's the mailman, man. I know you're more of a gambler than me. I'm hard pressed to place my bets on what you said. I'm not mad at that. Wemby's obvious for DPOY. Offensive Player of the Year. I had Luka until he got hurt, because I was also I'm still of the opinion Jokic really is not getting his just due in the MVP conversation talk. You're averaging a triple-double. I understand Shai's putting up points at center. You're averaging, you're almost leading the league in assists at center.
At center. Yeah.
at center. You're gonna try to tell me some people trying to say he's just with stat padding. No, a lot of the games Denver is involved in, they are close games, and he's giving you a triple double at center. All right. But I'm not mad at people. Wemby is getting all the love right now. So this seems to be his year. I don't think it's as clear cut as they're trying to make it seem. And that's coming from somebody that's a San Antonio fan. But he is getting all the love. He did the right moves publicity wise coming into this season. Him going to train with the Monks, creme de la creme. Somebody loves that boy, because everybody else would have did that. But Wemby had the secret. He got the sauce. Then he went to San Antonio, the foreign exchange program of the NBA, and you just ran with it. Shout out to you.
And even look at him at the All-Star game. He played during the All-Star game. He didn't half-ass it. He went all out during the All-Star game. He wanted to win. Like
and it looked worse.
He took every step to look good.
Yeah, and it looked worse because who was it? Was it Anthony Edwards that was saying the foreign people don't really play for real? And he was the only one on that team that was trying.
Yeah.
Like you got too many glimpses of Luka and Jokic being buddy. Wemby trying to win.
Joker just thinking about, I'd rather be riding a horse right now.
Rather be riding a horse. Man. Rookie of the year. We forgot rookie of the year.
Oh, Castle. No. What am I talking about? Oh my God. I'm thinking about San Antonio so much. It's Cooper Flag, and if it wasn't him, it'd be Knuppel, but it's Cooper Flag.
So clearly. I don't remember Cooper being heavily in the race like that.
Oh my God!
Until recently, because Knuppel was kind of running away with it for a decent
at
period
the beginning of the season. Knuppel got off to a hotter start for sure, and even now I think he leads the league in 3-point percentage and 3-pointers hit. I believe
42.9% from three.
But you got Cooper Flag with these back-to-back 40 points. He had a 50 and a 40 burger the very next night. He's running point guard for his team, a position he's never played. So he's at point. He's got Jason Kidd teaching him, though. That helps, having a big dude for him, 6'4" at point, and teaching Cooper Flag, who's 6'9", 6'8", 6'9". So he does a little bit of everything for his team. I think with a little bit more coaching and a little bit more experience, he might be a walking triple-double, especially if he stays at point.
I might still have Knuppel more so for his numbers, while less than Cooper's right now, they're not far off. Cooper scores 21 a game. Knuppel scores 18.7 specifically. Cooper only gets one more rebound than him, and only one more assist. And I say only one, but I attribute it also what Knuppel has done. The Charlotte Hornets are not the losing team that they were last year. And he's a huge part of that successful run that they're currently on.
But your team helps your stats. And Knuppel is on a better team than what Cooper Flag is on. But I do think, to Knuppel's credit, like you said, he's a big piece as to why they're doing so well. Number one, and they were talking about how they've taken on his mentality, because they got off to a slow start too. And Knuppel was hot. And as Knuppel cooled off, the team got better. So I'm rooting for Charlotte. I'm happy for him.
Fair enough. Okay, man. Anything else you wanna talk to the people about before we head on out of here?
Negative. Just remember, go Bears, go Bulls, go Blackhawks, go Cubs, fuck White Sox. That's it.
Okay. I will end with Giannis is the greatest nepotism source of all time, bro. He is. Shout out to you, man. Y'all should play in Philly, because brotherly love genuinely exists in the Milwaukee Bucks. And once we see it dismantled over the summer, it's going to be hilarious for the fact that you got not one, but two. They hating on LeBron for his son. But Giannis, you sneaky lad. You sneaky lad, bro.
His brother probably talks to him like, hey, all right, where we going next year? Where we going next year?
That's a fact, man. So we appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is. You like, comment, and subscribe. YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show. We appreciate everything that y'all have brought to us, and we will continue to give you products like this. We are out of here, folks.
Every time you see me, I keep it clean like a coaster.